So what I want to address real quick is ignoring files. So this comes up for everyone eventually, but when you're just getting started with Git, this is mostly a problem for Mac users. There's this file called dsstore that you'll notice has a period in front of it. It does not show up in your directory when you look at it through the GUI, but it does show up when you go to your Git repository and it says it's been changed. And it's basically what keeps track of if you do something like this and it's not on the grid. It keeps track of where on the screen files show up. So you might never see it unless you move a file like this, but it doesn't necessarily go away if you clean up your files. So notice this is still here. Moreover, the fact that I did that, I'm be a little surprised if I don't start seeing this in some of my subdirectories as well. So I'll get multiple DS stores, like eventually, if I ever move things. And this can happen on any kind of system where you have hidden configuration files that keep track of things. So I want to show you guys what to do about it, because obviously pretty much no one cares where on the screen the icons should be, and it's not something you want to track the changes of. And it's actually pretty common to eventually have configuration files or personal notes that you don't want other people in a shared group repository to see. For example, I had a student who used to keep a text-based to-do list in his repository but he was working with a group and he didn't want to confuse them, so he used this for that. And he wasn't even a Mac person, so this is useful for everyone. So this is showing dsstore as a hidden file that exists, and I don't see this. Let me just grab my terminal. I don't see this file. It doesn't show up here. It doesn't show up here, this dsstore file. The only way I can see it is on the command line to do ls-a, which shows everything, even the hidden files. And now I see I have both .git, which is the hidden configuration under the hood that manages all the Git stuff, and .dsstore, which is that Mac thing that tells where the icon is. And I want this dsstore thing to be hidden. The thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a file called .gitignore, which will be another hidden file. But it's a special reserved name. .gitignore is reserved by Git for this specific file that does this job. So I'm going to go into my student repository. I'm going to create a new file, and I'm going to call it period, although programmers always say .gitignore. Just one word, all lowercase, gitignore. And I'm going to put the name of the file I want to ignore inside it. So notice it's not ignoring it yet, but it also now has this .gitignore file, which is also a change it wants to track. I'm going to type instead .star or asterisk. This is a wildcard. Whenever you use it, it's a placeholder for anything. So this means any hidden file starting with a period we're going to ignore. So now if I look over here, the .gitignore is gone, but the .dsstore is still here. This probably means I've made some kind of careless mistake in setting up my gitignore. So I'm going to try to figure out what that is. Oh, my gitignore is inside the programs directory. I put it in the wrong folder. This is why this is not working. So I'm going to move it. I can move it here just as easily as anywhere else. I just need it to be not in a subdirectory. I'm going to move it. Now it's out. And now the Git thing is gone. It's now ignoring all of my hidden files, and you can use gitignore yourself in basically the same way to hide stuff from the Git repository function. That's all for now. Bye.